How's everybody doing today? Big day. Big day. Here in about 40 minutes starts the vote for Kash Patel to become the director of the FBI. So we will be off by then. I will be watching it live. He apparently does have the votes, which is very, very good. And that means today I want the Epstein list. Just going to say it. I don't care if YouTube is going to strike me down for saying it. I want the fucking Epstein list. I want the Epstein list to be published and put out. And I want us to then move forward as society to basically take care of the people that are on that list in the way that they deserve. Speaking of that, on a completely actually different note, not even speaking of that, but on a completely different note, I expect wood chipper sales to go up dramatically. So, but today we are going to be talking about how airlines compromise passenger safety. I have spoken about this multiple times before, but the J-Bay official lady, I'm just trying to be nice. She has, still kept up with this stupid, ridiculous shit. And I am about to show and prove with facts, data, statistics, that it is beyond reasonable to have the airlines stop people over 300 pounds from flying. I understand that this may affect many, many, many people, like very, very, very tall people. If you're a very, very tall person, you should likely, if you want to fly by air travel, you're likely going to have to be getting a charter plane anyway, if you're a very, very tall person. But realistically, just talking about commercial airline travel. I'm not talking about like the private jet for the Dallas Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm talking about commercial airline travel. A average height person weighing 300 pounds is a danger to everybody on board, including themselves. Everybody on board. Instead of society recognizing this heifer was on Good Morning Britain not too long ago. Like, that's how stupid society has become. This crazy heifer, and I say heifer in the most endearing way possible, just so everybody understands. Like, this isn't, in an effort to be extra mean to this woman. For fuck's sake, she's super mean to herself every time she sits down at the trough. But this person being sat next to you is, first of all, fraudulent. It's absolute fraud. It is and I have an article on X right now about that particular topic. That is a whole separate topic. When an airline sits somebody like that next to you, they are committing fraud. They are sitting somebody next to you, which takes away your ability to receive the product that you purchased from them. That is fraudulent. And if you want to go read that article, please do. And I think that people should start suing the airlines for this stuff. Like, look, I did not receive what I purchased from you. You knowingly sat somebody next to me that would make it so I could not receive what I purchased from you. That is fraud. And I need $1 billion for my mental suffering. That's what I think. Everybody should just start with that. Yeah, you're in for an unpleasant flight. Exactly. I mean, it's not only unpleasant, but we're about to prove dangerous. So let's listen to what Heffa has to say.
Something to say right. It's your girl Jay, and I got something to say right now, right here. Today.
Ooh, oh no, she's got something to say. As she gasps for breath because she doesn't have her oxygen on.
I want to go ahead and talk about SeaTac Airport. You hear that plane? Well, I'm staying right outside SeaTac right now at an incredible hotel that I've gotten to partner with. But I have something to say.
By the way, hotels, why are you partnering with this woman? Like, has nobody read the writing on the wall? Like, that's showing that all this woke bullshit about, like, you can have 25,000 genders and We have to affirm each and every one of them, which I have an article on X right now talking about how affirming non-binary people is actually damaging to them. All academically backed, cited, the whole nine. Because reality exists. But why are we having this to the point where this woman is being partnered with stuff like this? You know, like this is not helping her or society by any stretch of the imagination. So let's go.
And I think you want to hear it. If you're familiar with my experience at SeaTac, where they refused to push me in a wheelchair, you saw that video, and they refused to
push you in a wheelchair. I'm sorry, but I couldn't push her. I am much stronger than the average male. There's no fucking way I could push her up a 10-degree ramp, 500 pounds. Those ramps are sometimes 50 meters long, or not 50 meters, they're 25 meters long. There's no fucking way. It would be absolutely dangerous to push her up a ramp. It's like a 10 to 15 degree ramp often. 25 meters. Fuck that. Are you fucking crazy? That could, first of all, if you're walking behind them as she's getting towed up the fucking runway or causeway or whatever the fuck you want to call it. What if the person pushing her falls or steps out of the way? She's coming backwards at a high velocity of speed with a ton of inertia because of the mass that she has, and is going to kill anything in her path. When you weigh as much as the average Harley Davidson, maybe you shouldn't have to be pushed up the airplane aisle.
push me because I was too fat. And they had absolutely no consideration for my physical health, my well-being, my needs, none of the above. Well,
so
I thought maybe.
So you tell me she's upset that they have no consideration for her physical health or well-being. Where's the consideration from her for the employee's physical health and well-being? Or anybody around her? Where is her consideration for anybody that was on the airline with her for their physical health and well-being? Where? Like, talk about self-centered. This is what happens when you coddle this bullshit. She's been told she's awesome way too fucking much. You're a slobbingly fat person who needs to get their shit together. We should not be accommodating you. We should feel bad enough for you that we will help you, even though your personal choices are what's disproportionately burdening everybody else. Reality exists.
I was the only person that happened to experience that, and it was just something that was really uncommon. And then I talked to someone incredible in our community, and they're a much smaller fat person than I am, and
a much smaller fat person than I am. I don't have anything really to say about that. It just, the whole phrase struck me as funny. They're a much smaller fat person than I am. So you're basically saying that there are people that are very fat that are much smaller than you, because that's how fat you are. And yet you're expecting an airport employee to risk their health and well-being to push you up a fucking airplane ramp. Does anybody, like, how does anybody in this woman's, like, orbit, you know, pun intended, how do they not laugh directly in her fucking face? Because that's wild shit. It looks like she's wearing MMA gloves. Like, that's how fat her fucking hands and fingers are. And look at the darkening knuckles. Oh, welcome to diabetes. They're going to be taking your feet soon.
Experienced the same damn thing. Then I talked to someone else.
Good. Because just as this person's saying, an accommodation means someone offering a wheelchair, not pushing her in the wheelchair. Exactly. That is not in the job description of anybody on the airline. It's just not. Hey, you're the designated push the fat people up there.
Has also experienced something very similar. And you know what? Enough is enough. If you've ever had a bad experience with SeaTac, we would love for you to come out and be part of the protest. Let's show them that they cannot treat people like this. They cannot treat anyone like this, and they cannot treat fat people like this. This is unacceptable, and
it's perfectly acceptable. What's unacceptable is you being on the airplane to begin with. And we're going to go over that in a second.
It's discrimination and will not be tolerated any longer. So if you want to be a part,
you will tolerate what we fucking tell you to tolerate. Society needs to be done with this shit. It needs to be done with this shit. Absolutely. It just absolutely needs to be done with this shit. This is not healthy. This is not attractive. This is not acceptable. Like, her personal daily choices have led to her being a behemoth of a human being. And I mean, she's eaten herself to physical deformity. And we are supposed to somehow be like, oh no, you're great. Oh, you're perfect the way you are. No, lose fucking weight. Lose fucking weight.
for this protest, DM me tonight, DM me tomorrow, but let's go ahead and make it happen. We will be at SeaTac Airport Tuesday, February 4th. If you want to,
by the way, nobody showed up.
Protest at SeaTac in solidarity with me, come on by. If you see me at SeaTac, please come up and say hello. Stand in solidarity with us. SeaTac will
stand in solidarity with me. Let's see if anybody did. No.
This is America.
Oh.
Don't get you
all by herself. All by herself. That's warming to my heart a little bit, actually. All by herself. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. All right, so here we go. We are about to go to this. By the way, here we go. For those of you that are wondering, here is where you can read this article. Please do go to my X account. Follow me if you aren't already. Make sure you've hit the notification bells onto all. And I just saw somebody say that they didn't get a notification for this video from YouTube. If all of you that are subscribed to me or that subscribed from this article or from this video, make sure you click the bell. And even if you've already clicked the bell, re-click the bell, because YouTube has apparently shut off almost everybody's notifications for me, because they can't actually say I'm spreading misinformation anymore, because everything I've said is fucking true. So they are deciding to not tell anybody when I'm speaking. So please do click on that. I appreciate it greatly. Let's see here. But this is airlines compromise passenger safety for profit by allowing 300+ pound individuals to fly. Commercial aviation is a triumph of science and engineering, a system where every variable weight, balance, timing is meticulously controlled to ensure the safety of millions annually. Yet as obesity rates climb, with over 42% of the United States adults classified as obese, according to the CDC from 2018, by the way, it's much more than that right now. Airlines face a stark choice: uphold safety or chase profit by accommodating passengers weighing 300 pounds or more. This article contends that airlines opt for the latter, prioritizing revenue over the well-being of all on board. These risks, spanning aircraft performance, emergency evacuations, crash survivability, and in-flight health, stem from obesity, a condition fully within the individual's control through diet and exercise. By indulging personal irresponsibility, airlines gamble with lives to pad their bottom line, a decision illuminated by scientific evidence, operational realities, and economic incentives. So, obesity, a matter of personal accountability. We've gone through this multiple times, but to understand why airlines shouldn't bear this burden, we must first establish that obesity at 300+ pounds is a choice, not an inevitability. The science of weight gain is unambiguous. It's calories in versus calories out. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that 95% of obesity cases result from sustained caloric surplus driven by overeating and sedentary behavior, not genetics or medical anomalies. The New England Journal of Medicine in 2019 followed 120,000 adults for 20 years, revealing that consistent dietary moderation and physical activity prevented obesity, even amongst those with genetic predispositions. A 2020 meta-analysis in Nature Reviews Endocrinology debunked the myth of scientific metabolic variation differences averaging less than 200 calories a day, a gap easily closed by walking a mile or skipping dessert. Reaching 300 pounds, often a body mass index exceeding 400, Jesus Christ, it's not Tess Holiday, but often exceeding 40, demands years of excess. Gaining 100 pounds requires an extra 500 calories daily for a decade. So as you get bigger, by the way, your caloric baseline gets bigger. So you just keep eating 500 calories over that for a decade, you gain 100 pounds. That's a Big Mac here, a soda there, paired with no exercise. This isn't fate. It's a series of deliberate decisions. Claims of food addiction and slow metabolism falter under scrutiny because eating disorders are not an excuse. As someone that is 4 years, 1 month, and 3 days, no binge, I have an eating disorder. It is no excuse. Zero excuses. That is it. Fall under scrutiny. Physiological triggers are manageable through discipline or therapy, and metabolic excuses don't account for extreme weight, maybe 5, 10 pounds. That's literally it. Airlines shouldn't be forced to mitigate these self-inflicted outcomes when safety is at stake, yet they do, driven by the almighty dollar. The profit motive, safety sacrificed for revenue. Airlines are profit-driven enterprises, not public services. In 2023, U.S. carriers raked in $189 billion in passenger revenue, Bureau of Transportation Statistics, operating a razor-thin margin of 4 to 6%. Every ticket sold is a lifeline, and rejecting 300-pound passengers risks lost fare, bad press, and lawsuits. Policies like Southwest customer of size rule, buy an extra seat if you encroach, turns a safety issue into a revenue stream. A 300-pound person paying $150 per seat seat hands over $300 or for two versus $0 if barred. On a 175-seat Boeing 737 to 800, filling every seat nets up to $26,250 per flight. A haul airlines don't want to jeopardize. The obsession with full planes overrides safety. The FAA standard passenger weight, 190 pound for men, 179 pound for women, which is fucking disgustingly huge to begin with. I'm just going to point that out. The average male should weigh about 175 pounds or less. The average female should weigh somewhere around, it should be at least under 150. The average female is 5'3.5" inches tall. The average female at 179 pounds, by the way, at 179 pounds, the average female's waist to height ratio is likely going to be at 0.61. That is morbidly obese already. We're already accounting for morbid obesity in this. That's what's not even in this article. It's already, that's because this comes from my brain, not just the data and the studies, right? But we are already accounting for morbid obesity. And that's why that it's still not nearly enough. Per advisory circulation, 120-2F is an average, not a ceiling. A 300-pound passenger exceeds this by 58 to 67%, skewing calculations. If 10 such passengers board a full 737, a total load jump of 1,100 pounds, while this may not breach the maximum takeoff weight, MTOW, it erodes safety buffers for fuel, cargo, and weather changes. A 2019 study in the Journal of Aerospace Engineering modeled a 10% center of gravity shift from uneven distribution of heavy passengers, finding it boosts fuel burn by 3% and cuts climb performance. Crucial in emergencies like engine failure or turbulence. Pilots adjust, but why should they? Airlines could cap weight, but don't. Empty seats don't pay, and profit trumps precaution. Emergency evacuation profits lethal bottleneck. The FAA mandates evacuating a full plane in 90 seconds using half the exits. 90 seconds, half the exits. That heifer couldn't stand up in 90 seconds and get out of her seat, for real. A rule rooted in fire dynamics, smoke and heat kill within 2 minutes. Passengers over 300 pounds undermine this. Biomechanical research in obesity research 2015 shows individuals with a BMI above 40 move 30% slower and struggle in narrow 17 to 20-inch aisles. A 2020 International Journal of Aviation Safety simulated test evacuations with 5% of the passengers at 300 plus pounds, time stretched by 15 to 20 seconds, breaching the 90-second limit. So if 5% of the passengers are at 300 pounds, it is not meeting FAA regulations, but yet they let them fly anyway. They don't even weigh these fucking people. But yet the study done in 2020 International Journal of Aviation Safety found that having 5% of the people be over 300 pounds caused them to not be able to meet the FAA regulations. And the FAA did nothing because our government doesn't give a fuck. Wake the fuck up. This isn't just a problem. This isn't just their problem. It's everyone's problem. A slow-moving passenger clogs the aisles, trapping others behind them. The 1985 British Air Tours flight 28M fire, where 55 died due to evacuation delays, proves how seconds cost lives. Obesity wasn't the culprit there, but the physics is identical. Bottlenecks kill. Airlines could screen for mobility or force weight limits, but they don't. Each 300-pound passenger, $150 to $300 fare outweighs the risk of rare disasters. These individuals choose obesity through years of overeating. Carriers choose profit by letting them board, endangering all for a quick buck. Seatbelts and crash survivability, revenue over restraint. Aircraft seatbelts are engineered for the average bodies, 170-pound crash dummies per FAA standards, 14 CFR Part 25.785, to withstand 9 Gs of forces in survivable crashes. For 300-plus pound passengers, they fail. A 2018 study in traffic injury prevention found that in car crashes, a BMI of 35 raises injury risk by 48% due to belts riding up over the abdomen instead of securing at the hips. Aviation belts face the same issue. Extenders add length, but not crash-specific design, introduce slack from the weakened restraint. In a crash like U.S. Airways Flight 1549 in 2009, where all survived, an improperly secured heavy passenger could suffer worse injuries or block other escape. Airlines could mandate customers restraints or weight caps, but they don't. Retrofitting a row with reinforced seats costs $10,000 to $20,000 per seat, industry estimates. Reducing capacity and hiking fares. Selling 2 seats to a 300-pound passenger for a 300-pound passenger for $300 is cheaper than keeping planes full. Profit dictates policy, not crash data, leaving everyone vulnerable to corporate penny pinching. In-flight health risks, cashing in on self-inflicted crisis. Obesity at 300 pounds triples the risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVTs, on flights. It triples the risk, which is another reason why I'm always surprised that people don't even bring this up. But when you are morbidly obese, flying is actually unhealthy for you. In the comment section, tell me if you knew that, because reality exists, and flying for a very morbidly obese person, flying for a 500-pound person, I would argue that it's probably increasing the risk by well over that 30%. Well over. Per 2016 Lancet Hematology meta-analysis, DVT, a clot for immobility, can become a pulmonary embolism, a mid-air emergency. A 2022 Delta flight from Atlanta to London diverted to Newfoundland for a medical crisis, weight undisclosed, costing thousands in fuel and delays. Crews aren't equipped for critical care, yet airlines let these passengers board, banking on $150 to $300 fares while ignoring medical odds. The risks tied directly to lifestyle, high-fat diets, no exercise, choices carriers exploit for profit, passing the burden on to all on board. Let's see here. Physiological and operational strain, profits hidden toll. Cramped seats next to 300-pound passengers spike stress per a 2021 aviation psychology and applied human factor study, raising cortisol levels by 25%. Stressed passengers are less cooperative in emergencies, complicating crew controls. Flight attendants waste time fitting extenders and fielding complaints, diverting focus from safety duties. A 2023 survey by the Association of Flight Attendants found that 68% of the crew reported increased workloads from customers of size, fat fucking people, issues. Uncompensated labor airlines ignore to keep seats sold. Each 300-pound passenger fares outweigh the intangible costs, a trade-off driven by revenue, not responsibility. The economics of denial, profit over principle. Airlines leniency isn't naivety, it's calculated, as I've said many times before. A 2019 United Airlines lawsuit where a passenger sued over discomfort next to an obese seatmate settled out of court, signaling the legal costs beat revenue loss for stricter rules. Internationally, Samoa Air's 2013 weight-based fares flopped amid backlash, proving inclusivity Sells better than safety. The FAA and the IATA set no weight caps, leaving carriers free to pack planes. Amusement parks force 300-pound ride limits. Think about this. Amusement parks, they will stop people because physics, but airlines don't. It's fucking wild. Backed by engineering, airlines don't, because 189 billion in annual revenue trumps physics, profit, not prudence rules. Case studies. Profit, real world fallout. Consider a 2017 American Airlines incident of 400-pound passengers sparked passengers' size sparked a boarding dispute, delaying takeoff by 45 minutes. Passengers missed connections. The airline ate costs but kept the fare. In 2021, a Frontier flight ejected a family over seats conflicting with a heavy passenger, prioritizing optics over order. These disruptions, rooted in obesity's operational challenges, reflect airlines' refusal to limit weights, chasing short-term gain over long-term safety. Each case underscores the same truth. Revenue beats reason. The broader context, obesity's cost to society, of course, beyond aviation, obesity's toll bolsters the argument. A 2022 Health Affairs study pegged U.S. obesity-related healthcare costs of $260 billion annually, dollars taxpayers shoulder. Airlines mirror this pattern, externalizing personal choices costs onto passengers via safety risk. A 300-pound individual's decision to overeat shouldn't raise fares or crash odds for all, yet carriers enable it. Pocketing profits while dodging accountability. The counter arguments. Critics may cry discrimination, citing genetics or hardship. Science refutes these. Obesity is 95% lifestyle, per the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. 300-pound passengers got there through excess, not misfortune. Others argue inclusivity is a right, but safety isn't negotiable. Airlines don't let drunk or disruptive passengers fly, nor should they indulge self-imposed risks. Profit shouldn't trump lives. So you can't be drunk and laying on somebody, but you can be fat and taking up their seat. It's wild. Solutions, safety over sales. Airlines ditch profit-driven laxity. A 300-pound weight cap with medical waivers are verified exceptions. Balanced fares and safety. Pre-flight mobility tests could screen this, but carriers resist. Screening cuts sales. Retrofitting wider seats costs millions. Shrinking capacity, profits say no. Personal responsibility, diet, exercise shouldn't be subsidized by collective danger. Airlines could charge weight-based fares like Samoa Air tried, aligning cost with risk, but they won't. Flat fares maximize volume. Safety must override revenue. The bigger picture, a call to accountability. This isn't just about aviation. It's about principle. Airlines exemplify a broader societal failure to hold individuals accountable. Obesity's risks, DVTs, evacuation delays, crash injuries are predictable, preventable, and personal. Yet carriers cash in, raising fares and cutting corners to accommodate choices others shouldn't bear. A 2023 Aviation Week report noted that rising maintenance costs from heavier loads passing to all via ticket price. It's the same thing with your insurance, really. Safety isn't a luxury, it's a right. Airlines sacrifice for profit. In conclusion, airlines endanger all passengers by letting 300-pound individuals fly, a choice fueled by greed over safety, weight miscalculations, evacuation bottlenecks, restraint failures, and health crises, all tied to self-inflicted obesity, threaten lives. Science confirms obesity is 95% lifestyle, per the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. One more time, yet airlines chase $150 to $300 fares, ignoring physics and data. Every ticket sold to a 300-pound plus passenger prioritizes revenue over reason, a gamble backed by $189 billion in annual profit. Safety must trump sales. Until it does, every takeoff risks everyone for the irresponsibility of a few. And you can go read this article right here. And then we'll do a little bit of Q&A for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go watch Kash Patel hopefully get put in as the director of the FBI, which would be amazing. I'm going to go back and see what a few of you wrote. Notifications were not notifying. Please do one more time. Make sure if you're on here right now, if you're on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. Sometimes you might even need to unsubscribe and resubscribe. That also helps, from what I'm told. And make sure you click the notification bell to all, okay? It still won't notify you most of the time, but it might help. Plus, center of gravity is affected by obese people. We should really weigh people before boarding planes. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it just really does. When you get onto a small plane, they weigh you so they can tell you where to sit in the plane. They do the math. This issue is what makes me specifically not want to fly with Southwest. I don't want to be endangered by passengers who cannot feel like exactly. I won't fly Southwest. Fuck them. If I fly Southwest, I'm going to ask for an extra seat. I'm going to say my shoulders don't fit. I'm a customer size. Let me fucking get an extra seat. If you don't, then you're discriminating against me because my shoulders don't fit into my seat. I don't want to hang over on the sides to the people that bought seats next to me. So I'm a customer of size. Then give me an extra seat. If fat people want a free seat, can the people under 179 pounds pay half price? That's a big argument I have. Also, the Toronto flight flipped over. Imagine her thrown at you because gravity always wins. You would die or be severely injured. Exactly. It's frightening how normalized this has become over the years. Really? I mean, truly. I mean, it's truly frightening. I was going to say it would be interesting to see all the data on carry capacity in cars, load ratings for tires, road safety. That's a very good fucking point also. That's a very good fucking point and likely one of my next articles. DVTs are not pretty. They're not. They're not. The embolisms are not pretty. Maybe this is why there are so many plane crashes recently. Too many fat people. That's a possibility too. Would seatbelt extenders hold just as well as regular seatbelts in crash? I would think that their belly might loosen their belt from the crash. From what I understand, they don't. Give me a second. They will still sue the parks, though. Yeah, they'll sue the parks for not letting them ride a roller coaster. They'll try to sue them. Elizabeth Barrett. My husband's a surgeon, had a mid-air emergency happen, and my husband had to perform CPR on a diabetic person with blood sugar of 600. God damn, what the fuck did they eat? Holy shit. My husband compromised his own safety doing CPR in an aisle. Well, your husband's a fucking hero. And that person risked his life, but your husband's a fucking hero. Tell him I said so. If they did that one day, imagine lawsuits. No shit. They would be constant. It would be crazy. Society in general has really gone downhill. There's no pride anymore. Exactly. I completely agree. Alan, how do you control overeating on healthy food? I.e., I go into a protein shake that's dangerously delicious. I treat protein shakes and protein powders like I really don't drink my protein shakes, by the way. I make them into like a protein pudding. That way I'm actually having the act of eating because it's technically food. Whey is food. But I wouldn't suggest you have them. They should be considered like your end of the day dessert. Don't have protein shake. If you have trouble controlling sweet cravings and stuff like that, don't eat protein powder early in the day because it normally always tastes sweet. Eat it at the end of the day and have it be like your dessert for the day. That's right. Get there faster. Hell yeah. I love it. Yeah. If she would have been on that Delta flight, she would have been dead. Absolutely. It also could be be a very subtle process, part of going through the security, not like it would be a display on the screen. That's another thing too. They make you walk, like most of the time I got to walk in that thing and raise my fucking arms. Why is that motherfucker not weighing me? Why is that motherfucker not weighing me? First of all, every single fat person should have to go through that and hold their arms up. Because if you're very, very fat, by the way, if you're very, very fat, you can hide shit in your fucking skin rolls and it might not get picked up by a metal detector because there's only so much tissue it can go through, you know? I'm flying to California for a wedding. Hope I don't see a fat person on the plane. Thank you for the tip, and I appreciate it. Yeah, it's an easy way in time. Everybody raises their hands, and they get scanned. Because of just walking through a metal detector, not only that, but walking through a metal detector, how many big, huge people walk through a metal detector, and they've got some sort of metal in their body from some sort of surgery they had to have because they're fucking sickly and ill. Well, I got a fake knee. I'm 500 pounds. I can sneak anything onto a fucking plane I want. They're not. I can guarantee this. If they pat somebody down, they're not going to reach up under the fucking skin folds either. Just saying. Volume can be estimated. Exactly. So fucking true. So fucking true. So fucking true. All right. So any questions, by the way, here's where you can get our coaching, daily communication, weekly video conferences. We are excited to work with you. It is time to make America healthy again. I hope all of you understand that we want to help make you healthy. We want to actually help build healthy lifestyle habits in order so you do not overeat on a daily basis. We want it to be so it is a livable lifestyle. We focus on satiation, satisfaction, appropriate fitness level activity. We plan in weekly indulgences because if you don't ever indulge, that is not a lifestyle, that is a diet. And we build healthy lifestyles at our coaching. We also focus on sleep, hydration, proper stress relief, those sorts of things. So please do check it out. Those are great deals. And we don't see the screen, so no one would be complaining about public shaming unless you get a prize. Yep, exactly. Also, excellent points. I don't even know what this means. Kuzo the Great. I don't know what that means. But anyway, folks, 4 minutes until Cash Patel's thing starts. So I gotta go. But I will be back tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time to talk all sorts of mad, crazy shit. Understand that. We might even talk about a few of the other articles I wrote on X today, which, by the way, one more time, go follow me on X. I'm writing tons of articles with the use of Grok, their AI, on basically all the topics that I've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 years. It's wild how I put it in the Grok, my stances on it, and lo and behold, it's all scientifically proven and factual. Crazy shit, right? Anyway, we will be talking later on. I hope all of you have a phenomenal goddamn day. My name is Alan Roberts. Let me know what you're thinking about it in the comments section. Make sure to hit like and subscribe on all of my social media. I am on Alan Roberts on Rumble. I am on Spreely for Evening Rants. Join myself and Mark Loveliner at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight at Evening Rants on YouTube, at the MFNCO on Twitter, at Mark Loveliner on Twitter, or also Evening Rants on Rumble. Have a good day. God.
Are you currently taking LMNT for your electrolytes? That's great. Electrolytes are very important, especially for athletes. The problem is I think they took it a little too far. 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet. That's great if you're an endurance athlete running in high temperatures, 100 plus. But if you're not perspiring that much, if you're not doing that much activity, if you're simply exercising, normally, it's a lot. You're looking at intake, you take a few packets, 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So what I like to do is I like to flavor all my water with electrolytes because electrolytes are vitally important for you to intake. Now, what do? I take Ambrosia Hydroglyph. So Ambrosia Hydroglyph, available in stick packs as well as bags. Now, it's beyond sodium, potassium, magnesium. It has other things that'll help your body keep muscle and perform better. It has the essential amino acids. It has your branched chain amino acids. It has velocitol, which doubles the power of those amino acids. It even has my HMB. So if you're really training hard, it staves off muscle loss. If you're looking for something well beyond the current electrolyte you're taking, something that won't overdo it, but give you everything needed to perform at your best and be as healthy as possible, Ambrosia Hydroglyph is your choice.